20 years ago, the Mercedes-Benz SL-Class was born, amid a renaissance of roadsters. The perky SLK distinguished itself within the burgeoning field of baby ragtops by not having a ragtop, but a nifty retractable hardtop. The SLK retained that feature through succeeding generations, during which the car grew larger and more luxurious, with styling that seemed to evolve in lockstep with a larger SL. Now, Mercedes has reconstituted, restyled, and renamed its baby roadster. The SLK name is dead, the car is rechristened SLC, something Mercedes hopes will align it more closely with the class, and perhaps bring its roadster sales out of the doldrums. In America, just 2 SL-Class models will fill the shoes of the 3 former SLK entries. The base SLC 300 picks up where the SLK 300 left off, powered by the same 241 horsepower 2.0-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder that became the SLK's base engine just last year. The new Mercedes-AMG SLC-43 replaces the mid-level SLK 350 and the steroidal SLK 55 AMG. The SLC-43 is powered by a 362 horsepower 3.0-litre twin-turbocharged V6, which just about splits the difference between the SLK 350's 302 horsepower V6 and the SLK 55 AMG's 415 horsepower V8. Both SLC models use a 9-speed automatic transmission. A manual is no longer offered. We headed to the French Riviera and its nearby mountains, where Mercedes gave us our first chance to find out if the 2017 SL-Class merits a new name or if it's merely the SL-Class with one different letter. SLC 300, life springs eternal, from the windshield forward to help the SLC 300 better fit in stylistically with Mercedes-Benz's latest models. The SLK's blockish nose was replaced by a rounded nose with dual-element headlamps and arching LED brows. A constellation of black or chrome dots orbiting the 3-pointed starback fill a bisected grille. At the back there's a new bumper and tail lamps with horizontal LED loops. The SLC's cabin is virtually unchanged from that of the SLK, where it has appeared dated for some time. The most significant change is its flat-bottom steering wheel, while black-faced primary gauges, a TFT driver information screen, and a 7.0-inch infotainment screen round out the functional updates. Contrast stitching and elegant silver buttons and switches are less functional, but they're appreciated. A variable tint glass roof remains an option for those seeking to brighten the cabin, but if you need it brighter still, the retractable hardtop disappears under the deck lid at speeds up to 25 miles per hour. Not surprisingly, the 2.0-litre Turbo 4's robust output, which we never got a chance to review in the previous SLK, made the rural sweepers north of Nice, France, particularly entertaining, although turbo lag became noticeable on Nice's congested streets. We also were fond of the SLC's accurate steering, stoic high-speed manners, and tidy body motions during some backroad shenanigans. The 9-speed automatic's snappy downshifts under braking made us smile every time. Mercedes claims that the SLC 300 can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.7 seconds, an entirely believable number considering we coaxed a 2015 SLK 250 with a manual transmission to 60 miles per hour in 6.3 seconds, and that car had 40 fewer horsepower and 44 lb-ft less torque. SLC 43, far more than 4,355 THS of an SLK 55 AMG. Let's get this out of the way. The Mercedes-AMG SLC-43 will never entirely replace the brawny, fast, and occasionally uncouth SLK 55 AMG. Its 362 horsepower twin-turbocharged V6 can't match the 415 horsepower or the basso profundo sound of the 5.5-litre naturally aspirated V8. In truth, though, the SLK55 wasn't all that great. It was nose-heavy, thirsty, and not particularly nimble. The SLC-43 suffers none of those shortcomings. Sure, its V6's horsepower is lower, but its 384 lb-ft peak torque is just 14 lb-ft shy of the 5.5 litres. Even better, it's all on tap from 2000 revolutions per minute. Factor in the SLC-43's stated curb weight of 3,351 pounds. Just 33 more than the SLC-300 and some 200 pounds less than the SLK-55 AMG, and the SLC-43 is a credible SLK-55 replacement. Mercedes estimates that the SLC-43 can hit 60 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds, 0.1 seconds slower than the SLK-55 AMG's officially stated time, and based on the massive surges of acceleration we experienced whenever we pushed past the throttle's midway point, that mid-for-second 0 to 60 mph time is totally believable. We'll know for sure how the SLC-43 stacks up only after we test one, but our best 60 miles per hour sprint in an SLK-55 AMG was a close 4.1 seconds. The SLC-43's suspension is quite firm, and body roll is virtually non-existent. Steering is at times heavy but always precise. The optional limit slip differential proved its worth by keeping the rear tires anchored when powering away from an apex. And the AMG brakes proved impressively fade-proof despite our best efforts to cook them on a high-speed mountain descent beset with low-speed switchbacks. Precious few exterior features distinguish the SLC-43 from the SLC-300, the most obvious being the full-width front air intakes. Also specific to the AMG are its rear bumper, Gullwing tailpipes, and standard 18-inch wheels that provide a nice view of the SLC-43's big brakes. The designers could have dug deeper to make the SLC-43's exterior look more special, but the interior feels rightly intense, with sport seats, a contoured sport steering wheel, and AMG instruments with a race timer. Soft Nappa leather and microfiber optionally covers most surfaces, punctuated by red stitching and red trim. The 2017 SL-Class arrives by early summer. Pricing isn't yet available, but the SLC-300 will probably remain close to the 2016 SLK-300's $47,925. The SLC-43 likely will command more than $60,000, although it should handily undercut the eye-watering $73,525 that Mercedes charged for the SLK-55 AMG. How well it will sell is anyone's guess, especially in this depressed roadster market. But with all the effort Mercedes put into what was ultimately just a mid-cycle refresh for the SL-Class, the car maker clearly intends to sell the car for a while.